No,
we're back.
Mute it. We're supposed to be playing it.
You're right.
We're already
back. Yeah, and I slapped the table. That was like the first thing I did.
Also, why is this so?
Well, because if people want to see the cipher, they want to see the cipher. I hope we don't. I don't think we can get in trouble for this.
No.
Okay, good.
We'll get them. If anything, we'll tweet out after they take it down and be like, "Hey, Yachty."
Tweet at XXL and
hey X.
X is dead and he's not in this.
Spiritually, he is.
So we're back
after our long hiatus.
I have been on the brink of suicide for the past 2 weeks. Do you want to know why, Jake? Because our views have been going down. Over episodes, plummeting. Subscribers, not growing that fast.
Well, we also haven't put out any content in 2 weeks.
Regardless, I would like some money and some subscribers. So
if you're watching and you're not subscribed, you don't support the XXL 2016 Cypher.
And you're anti-BLM. So, this is my RGBT.
RGBT?
RBG. Look, what do you... I'm a millennial. What do you expect? What do you want me to say? I'm going to say RGB. Or RG... Anyway.
You're trapped.
I'm trapped. She's trapped me. From beyond the grave.
What was that? What was that horrible perk that you had in Call of Duty?
Who's Who or Tombstone?
No, not zombies. I'm talking about multiplayer. The one where Martyrdom, I think it was, where you throw a grenade after you die.
You drop a live HE grenade. Not as annoying as Last Stand, which was in like the first few games where
you laid on the ground.
Yeah, like where you would be like, and you could come back. Like somebody would kill you, and then you whip out a pistol and then kill them. That was stupid.
If you use juice. Do you remember juice just made you run faster for 5 seconds?
Oh yeah. And then Painkiller 2 was annoying when like some kid would die 5 times in a row and then he'd like spawn in with an LMG and 300 health. It's like you shoot him in the head 5 times.
I do miss Juggernaut. I miss. You
mean like the skill streak or the score streak?
Yeah.
That was a cool score streak. I think it's in Modern Warfare 2019.
I haven't been playing Call of Duty in a minute, but
I just deleted it because it was taking up so much space on my hard drive. And I'm trying to get the new one. I cannot wait for a Cold War.
I do
just for zombies. I don't care about maybe the campaign.
If they brought back Dome and then Spaz 12 versus Juggernaut, that was like where everyone was just like,
yeah, they missed an opportunity not bringing back Dome for the new Modern Warfare.
Everyone would freak out if Dome came back.
But what did they brought back a lot of like
Shipment.
Was that was that MW1?
I think that was MW1.
I thought that was a new one. The more you know.
You thought it was only on the new one? I'm pretty sure it came from MW1.
It's possible. I don't know.
It's possible. Anything's possible with Popsicle. How do you feel about like brand slogans? Like
which one in particular?
Just
in general?
It's just there's so many like interesting slogans. Like remember there's the like where's the beef woman, like the elderly woman?
Wendy's has been putting out fire for their entire life as a company.
Okay, really? Oh, the sandwiches for the epic memer. See, spicy goodness, so like a boss.
Like that. So it's bad, but it's ironically funny nowadays.
Yeah, but like
it's like what you'd see on Okay Buddy Retard, like that subreddit. That's like the level of humor it's at.
Is that subreddit still going?
Yeah.
Is it not banned?
It hasn't been banned yet, but it's like 4chan for Reddit sometimes, and it's not good, but it is pretty funny for people that like stupid humor.
Yeah.
I caught myself there.
You did. Second time through. Second time through.
I queued it up like 15 times, so I figure either we'll get through all of them and end the podcast, or we won't go that far. But who knows?
So how have you been in these last 2 weeks, other than you're gonna have to skip the Verbo ad?
Other than what?
Other than being real depressed about the our viewership going down over these last.
Oh yeah, let me get back to that. So there's only one group of people that has been tormenting me and destroying my mental illness, and it's everybody in the world that hasn't subscribed to our channel. And I mean, like, I talk to some of my best friends, and they don't even know I have a podcast.
Yeah, I got that. Like, feel like, or the people like our friends who like listen only to
friends
who listen to like the first 10 seconds and like, oh, it's a good episode.
Yeah, and then they go watch Joe Rogan or someone else.
Yeah,
alt-right leader.
Like horrible like what is even his moving to Texas, like everyone knows the podcasting hub of America is upstate New York,
Rochester.
Vegas.
Yes, we're the hubs of so many beautiful things, like crime, child kidnapping.
No, that's Dayton, Ohio.
Well, no, so I think like Rochester, Buffalo, and a few other cities in New York are like huge hubs for child trafficking.
Well, we have like that weird like underground like old subway system that only like crackheads.
I've never gone there.
I haven't either, but
I want to go to the psych ward that's abandoned at some point.
Every white girl and their cousin's gone to the psych ward. It's kind of played out. Like,
no, it's not played out. I feel. Do you think people went there for Halloween?
Oh, 100%. Did you hear there's two parties throughout Rochester that anyone who's gone to the party has to like quarantine for the next 2 weeks. So there's been like multiple positive cases at these parties, and they're all high schoolers.
Dude, high schoolers are going to be the end of our society. I think. Well, think about this. I feel like high schoolers, at least in Rochester, push way more drugs than we think. Like, I'm not saying they rival the triads in Rochester, but they're close. They're working with the triads, probably.
I like the idea of the triads of Rochester.
They're in Rochester. I know some people. Well, we both know someone that my brother knows that gets things from the triads. Like, I'm not even joking. So maybe we should start working with them. Maybe the triads. What if we got the triads to subscribe? Could we do like some marketing with them and maybe blow up? Like have them. Like imagine this: they start like they're dealing their drugs or whatever they're dealing. I don't know.
Hypothetically,
but every time they give their customer a package, they're like, by the way, 10% discount code if you watch this YouTube video.
No, what if they gave us the discount code? So like we shout out, like use code no care for 15% off your LSD.
like you have to sign up for a Patreon and then we'll ship you like a sticker or something that you have to be wearing to go into one of the triad hideout locations where they sell drugs.
It's like the most convoluted sponsorship.
Yeah, but I mean, we're living in a technological age. Right? You got to do what you got to do.
Yeah, why are we using stickers in a technological age?
Well, the stickers, they're going to have RFID scanners in them as well.
Our phones have RFID scanners in them now.
Yeah, and NFC. That's how you like pay with phones.
Yeah,
I
don't have Apple Pay set up.
I mean, but your phone has it.
Yeah, no, I just don't have it set up.
I think it's like
I'm honestly just too lazy to do it.
But it's so convenient because like if I'm checking out in line, I'm not talking to the cashier. I'm on my phone.
Well, first of all, that's your first mistake. You're going through the cashier line. You're not going through the self checkouts.
The self checkouts, at least at the Wegmans down here, is ridiculous. Like it's like there's like 20 different rows of cashiers and everybody goes to self checkout because I don't want to get COVID. But there's like 50 people gathered at the self checkout. You stupid people. And also just grocery stores in general, or like most stores, there's no social distancing.
No.
Especially Wegmans, it's like super packed. Everybody is like hustling and bustling, walking through their children. There's so many children that just start, like they'll come out of the aisles where there's like open space and then they're like the cash registers, and they come out of the aisles after like their family's getting Tostitos or something, just barrel through and like knock over people all the time.
Imagine trying to
get a leash for your kids.
Imagine trying to have 5 kids in a swimming pool in one lane of a black pool and having them social distance, and that's what I have to do at my job.
Well, how do you even do your job right now?
Right now, we just go in the water.
But you're not allowed to go in the water.
Yes, you are.
I thought you weren't.
Oh, I am with a lifeguard on duty.
Oh, so essentially what you're saying is that
I could have gone out with you guys. I was just being extra cautious.
So, but what you're saying is that you're working your job, but your job requires somebody else to be working your same job to allow you to work your job?
I'm not lifeguarding.
So what are you instructing?
Yeah.
So what do you
I can't lifeguard right now. I have to have them like social distance. Like one of my classes, I have 2 siblings, so like what I just do is I put them in the same group and I have them stand next to each other because they're like, and we also can't touch the kids, which is like a really weird. No, should
you be touching the kids?
No, in swimming, yes. Like if you're trying to teach a kid how to backflip.
Oh, true. Like, same thing with like tennis, because like you need to. I mean, with like a lot of things, like golf too. Like you need to show somebody how to do it by moving their body.
Yeah, if I have a 5-year-old and they're too scared to jump in the water, how am I supposed to get them to jump in without catching them? Like that's like a big part of my job is like
again a child leash. Literally, Jake, I've just made your job so much easier. Child leashes start like going around in a circle and just toss them in. how else are you gonna? That's the most efficient way to get them in my opinion.
I had this woman tell me that I wasn't doing enough of my job today because I wasn't like helping with the kid, and I was like, I can't because of COVID. And then she goes, well, you're also a man, and I have a daughter, and I don't expect you to connect to my daughter as a man to be able to teach her. And I'm like, I've been teaching swimming lessons for about 5 years now with both genders, and I have seen no problem teaching either men or women how to swim. I don't know what your logic
Especially
is here.
If it's young kids, like why? Like
she was like 7. She was just crying. She didn't want to be.
I would understand if you were middle aged, but I feel like most pedophiles are not.
I'm mentally a 5-year-old. I'm like the same mental capacity as most of these children.
that's murky waters, because if you're mentally their level, who knows what's going on?
No, I went over this today. I'm physically a middle-aged.
Well, yeah, he's on right now.
I'm physically a middle-aged man. I'm mentally a 5-year-old, and I'm emotionally a 16-year-old teenage angst boy.
So anything but your age is who you are.
Yeah.
So age is truly just.
But would you consider I'm the new age?
I feel like you're more like the New World Order. Because of the way that you. Do you think that the New World Order is established by changing like your human biological instincts to be geared towards a certain ideology?
I mean, then you have to get into the idea of like social I forget what the term is. It was in the
manipulation.
No. The rat utopia experiment where they had a bunch of rats and they put them all into a cage with all the food, water, and all the necessities they needed. And at some point they just started becoming into like social cliques, and like the men became like weak because they didn't have to hunt. And then they'd stop reproducing, and like within a certain amount of generations, it just died out. It was to like test like what urbanization has done to our culture. It was done in like the 50s. I think that, like it's like a social sink or like
I mean, it makes sense because like across the world in most developed countries. Do you remember in Apes, Miss Katie was talking about how countries go through like a predictable set of stages. Yeah. And that once you reach like stage 4 or whatever, that your birth rate starts to plummet, and like not that, but like also healthcare and like other things like getting food are very easily accessible. And I think that happens naturally
plummet beyond replacing yourself. I think that was the theory behind that.
Well, I think it, and I mean we can look it up, but I think in a lot of countries, their birth rate has gone below 2.1, which is the necessary amount that you need to make sure that like between two parents you need to produce like 2.1 children on average, and I think the 0.1 is like compensating for people that just like die randomly or something, mm-hmm. or like child death, or I don't know, anything. It doesn't have to be child death. It could be I don't know.
Do you just support child death openly on the pod?
I mean, we could talk about other things that are child death if you want.
No, I don't want to talk about child death.
I mean, I don't like talking
about. It's all about powers. Freeze to
I feel like we might get copyrighted for that because you sound like Denzel.
Honestly,
so much.
I might be one of Zeltron. What if we're all just personally one of Denzel's 9,999 personalities that he has in his head that all form Zeltron?
So, which kind of person would you be of Epic? Zeltron? Okay, which kind of person would you actually be?
Quirky. Hi, welcome to the Jake Carey Alone Pocket. I feel like I've just realized I've been out of frame for most of this episode.
You might have been.
I was like here. Yeah, I've been out of frame for most of this episode. I'm back.
Should we move the camera a little bit?
Like a mid-pod.
I mean, you can edit this out if we have to.
No, I'm keeping it.
Okay. That's a little bit better. Oh, Uzi's going in right now. Damn.
Oh, skirt. Okay. It's bad how many times we've watched this video.
And we're adding 15 times onto it right now. I don't know. I don't feel bad about it. For some reason, like the trash beat always gets me going. Because it is a terrible beat.
Yeah, it's not a good freestyle beat either. Like there's no like good like parts that come. Yeah, there's no good like 808s.
It's just the same loop over and over again, and it's not that good.
808s and heartbreaks.
So, you were asking about what I think of like brand slogans. I feel like
they're great.
I like brand slogans because the good ones you can like relate to, but I guess the darker side of that is that companies are just preying on what you desire and like what your lifestyle is in order to control you.
Sorry, why'd you put a hoodie on? We were wearing matching Evangelion
I don't know.
shirts.
I feel like I'm in menopause. I go through hot flashes and
we were wearing matching.
I've just been taking a lot of
shirts.
estrogen recently and
Flex.
opposite of flex.
Deflex.
I'm not taking estrogen. Unflex, pretty much.
No flex zone.
You know, some people take testosterone as like a recreational drug.
What does it do?
Maybe it's just people that are junkies for like a workout high, but they want like an even higher workout high. I don't know. I don't take testosterone.
As far as we know.
Have you ever taken any?
No. What? Why would I take testosterone?
For lacrosse?
No. The crazy thing
I didn't know if you got to that point where you were bullied enough by lacrosse people that you're like, I need to get buff. I can't take this anymore. I'm going to kill all of them.
You've known me my entire life. There was no point where I was like, buff. I was at one point in good shape, but I was never buff.
But I feel like if you were going to take testosterone, you'd be one of those people that would take it but not actually use it to get buff. Like you would take it thinking like, oh, I'm going to get buff, but like you take testosterone and you don't work out, so you don't actually get buff. Like,
I would snort pre-workout before workouts.
Ugh.
Like C4, like what's it called? I can't remember the name of. There's like it's a prime ingredient in pre-workouts.
I don't know, amino acids.
I forget what it's called, but like we used to. The craziest thing, and I've told this before, but I haven't said it on the podcast, was definitely before our Milwaukee games when we were shotgunning Red Bulls with C4 in them.
Oh.
And I would get to the game and my brain would feel like water and I would be smashing a helmet against my head to get amped up before the game, and then I ran out of the field screaming.
Do you ever think about how you could have gone down such a different path in life?
That's the closest I think I've ever done to doing math, and it's the closest I'll probably ever get to doing math. Like, I feel
Were you considering doing meth?
No, but I feel like that's what meth feels like.
Would you have like smoked meth before a game if everyone else was smoking meth?
No.
So that's why you didn't go anywhere in lacrosse.
Yeah, that's why I stopped.
Did we ever have a good lacrosse team?
We had like decent years. We had one year where we were really good. We just weren't a team. Like we just didn't play together. So like, because like everyone was playing for themselves, so we just were trash. Like we should have been really good. Like we lost games to like Bath because like we would like
people live in Bath.
Bath games were always the worst. The parents would try and start fights with kids on the field. The chirps in Bath games were always the worst. It was like one of the only times I threw out insults in like my entire life was during Bath games, because I used to cover this like really fat attackman, and he had this pocket which later became illegal in lacrosse, where like the ball just stayed in and you had to like throw all of your like force into throwing anything, like a pass or a shot, because the ball just wouldn't come out because there was so much what's called lip where it wouldn't come out of the stick.
Do you mean it just like sags a lot?
Yeah, like, but it wasn't like but it was like the way the mesh was like done. It was a different style of meshing that I think it's called like a rocket pocket or something like that.
It's a sick name. I like that.
And I would always cover him, and at one point he was like, "Oh, I think I broke like my cleat during that game or something." And he's like, "Oh,
how do you break your cleat?"
I broke.
Do you have like high heel cleats or
something? No. In one game in Maryland, it got so hot on the turf because like the turf's always much hotter than the outside area that it melted the plastic that adheres to my cleat, and the whole bottom part of my cleat came off.
Was that happening to
while I was
else,
running? Like I was carrying the ball up the field, and my cleat just fell apart.
Did you win the point? Did you score a point?
No, I've scored maybe one goal in my entire lacrosse career. I hated shooting. I hated taking the ball on the offensive side of the field. I liked hitting, and I liked staying on the defensive side where everything was safe. I didn't have to worry about carrying a ball or passing the ball. I just hit people.
Yeah, I feel like I never really played like a sport like that because I just played tennis. But if I was going to, I'd want to play defense because I have to think like way less about, I'm going to make this play. I'm going to like, I know this guy's behind me and I'm going to pass to him and this guy's coming up. Like if you're on defense, somebody comes to you and they have the ball or somebody else is going to pass it to them. I'm going to block.
Lacrosse was weird because you have to remember slide packages and stuff too, which was kind of difficult. But like football, when I played football for a while, I was offensive guard, and I enjoyed playing offensive guard because like all I knew was, oh, It's a pass. I pass block. It's a run. I run block. Oh, that's the count.
Yeah.
That's it. Like the wide receivers had to know like every route. Like the quarterback had to know every play. I was just like, I hit the person in front of me and make him move.
Yeah, that's and you have to make a lot of snap decisions when you're on offense.
Yes, and I'm not good at making snap decisions.
I remember the one time the only memory I have of playing football during gym class was, I don't know what we were doing, but at some point I was on Mike Lippa's back, and I was carrying the ball, and I was like on his back, and I was like, the power of Christ compels you, and everybody started kneeling down, and then I got a touchdown. I'm a star, I guess. I'm kind of a star.
I mean,
I understand if you're speechless.
Football hit different sometimes. Like the beefs that would form in gym class football.
Football was like surprisingly the least douchey gym class sport for me, at least. Like field hockey.
Field hockey was nasty.
Super
douchey.
Basketball. Like everyone took it way too seriously. Yeah. Football though, maybe some kids would be like, "Oh, I'm going. Send me a Hail Mary," and they just book it down the field. And nobody can pass it that far.
I remember, like, by the time we were, like, juniors and seniors, and, like, I stopped caring about anything that involved gym class.
Yeah, that's when playing games in gym class were fun.
I remember, like, we'd always run this one play, and Coach Bates would get so mad at us. Because I'd always go, all right, secret play. And I always had the same team, and it was to punt on second down. It was a surprise punt on second down.
Did that ever work in your favor?
Yes, one time they muffed a punt, I scored the touchdown. But like I'd always be like special play. It would just punt. And Coach Bates like, that's not how you play football. And I'm like,
was it like people you knew on your team?
Yeah, like it was like me, like Fred, like Tim. Like it was. Man, like
you had a great gym class.
Yeah. I always I remember, were you on the basketball team for the 3v3 tournament where I put in and like it was all like the real like athletic like douchey people, and then like we decided to put in a team last minute. It was like me, and I know Fred was on the team, and I think
was it me, you, Fred, and Aiden?
I think it was.
Dude, I still have the T-shirt we won from that. I wear that all the time.
We won.
They gave me like an extra large, and it kind of fits me now. Dude. Who was it? Was like Mike. It was like us against like Mike Cairns, Alex Spoto, like Jared Odorizzi or someone like that. And we destroyed them only because of Aiden. None of us did anything. Aiden is a fantastic basketball player. We did nothing, and I was talking trash to Mike Cairns the entire time. He's like, "You're shit. You don't know what you're doing." We won. That was the most magical athletic experience I've ever had, other than playing varsity tennis and losing in the individual sectional finals.
That's tragic. I remember I was 1 second off sectional times in swimming, but that's because I stopped going to swim practice. I enjoyed swimming. It was just
who was on the swimming team?
Oliver.
Other than Oliver. Other than Oliver.
Oliver.
He lives in the water.
Aquaman. Navy SEAL. Oliver. Mike Salazzo was on it that year. We drove together a lot.
He gives me swimmer vibes for some. I feel like I could have guessed that.
Pashalitis was on it that year.
I knew that. Oh man, I love Pash.
I love Pash too. That was like I always hung out with Pash. Who else was on? Christian. Christian was on it that year.
R.I.P. You have a drink. What are you doing?
I didn't grab a red Solo cup.
Luckily.
Who else was on it that year? Oh, Alex. No, not Alex Patterson. What was his name? The kid who was like super conservative and joined the Austin Manville.
Yeah. Oh man, I like Austin.
I'm pretty sure he was on it.
Kind of. I feel like there were a lot of kids at McQuaid that they were like. If you talk to them normally, they just seem like great guys, like super nice guys. But then you start talking about politics, and it takes a nosedive really quick.
Yeah, that was one of those cases. I also like. Do you remember? There's so many kids from high school that I just want to like meet up with that I haven't seen in a while. Like that I wouldn't normally see. Like Jimmy, not Spampanato. I don't even remember his last name. Jim. He hung out with Nick DeLuca. He was very under the radar.
Jim. I don't know Jim. I just think of Jimmy from Holy Cross. I want to see that kid. I haven't seen him in a while.
I do too.
We might. I don't know if we're still gonna room with him or not, or what you're doing. But that's another.
I'm thinking about going.
You're going?
I'm thinking about it.
Let's go.
I decided like if you go and everyone else is there, like Jimmy Copeland.
Oh! Wait! No! That's not the blonde kid, is it?
Yeah.
No, I'm thinking of Brandon Caps.
This kid.
Oh yeah, there's some kid like So how many kids do we have in our class? Like what, 120, 30, 40?
Yeah, not a lot.
Like you would think you would know everybody after 7 years, but there are like 2 or 3 kids that slipped through the crack for me. Like what's his name? Donnie Coughlin.
Oh, see, so Jimmy, Donnie, and DeLuca were all friends, and
yeah, those 3 I didn't really ever talk to.
But Nick and Donnie are from Hilton, so I rode the bus with them. So I was friends with them, and Donnie played lacrosse. Donnie's a great kid. You would get along with Donnie.
You ever talk to him?
Yeah, I talked to him. We were supposed to start a McQuaid Minecraft server over quarantine, like with like every McQuaid student.
What happened to that?
I just stopped caring. They started.
Just lost your emotion.
I just.
Do you think we've been emotionally blunted over quarantine?
100%.
I think
the lack of human contact.
Yeah, the lack of human contact and all of the large societal things that are going on. That not that we would do anything about it if we could go out, but like we're not going out at all.
Yeah.
At least I'm not. I have nothing to do. I mean, even if I could do something, like nobody is really home other than you and a few other people.
Well, that's why I was saying like I should go back. I just like slapped the table.
Yeah, I know. We've only had 2 slaps. This is pretty good so far.
That's why it was like one of my big reasons for like wanting to go back. I'm like, drugs too, baby.
Do I need to solo this for a second?
That one's right here.
Pop your Xannies. I'll talk while you're popping your Xannies. So there's been a lot in my mind recently. Given the current socioeconomic climate of today's day and age, I think that we need radical change to our society. And there's only one way to do that. Now, let me take you down my 5-step process. It's my 10-year plan. Step 1, eliminate the economy. I think if we do away with having money, or whatever we want to call it these days,
clout.
We don't have, so there's no money, there's clout only. What your societal and financial worth is determined solely based on how you dress and what music you listen to. I would be probably in the 1%, I think.
Where would I be?
I would be in the 1%, probably. And then, I mean, you guys can't really see my gamer setup I have right now, but I think you can tell from the fact that I have a monitor across from my computer right here, and it's playing the 2016 Freshman Cypher.
There's 3 monitors in this room.
So I would be number 1, and as a result of being number 1, that means I have control over society, which takes me to step 2. Step 2, institute Andrew Yang as the president. So why do I do that?
So are you no longer number 1? Like, are you puppeting Andrew Yang?
Yeah, so I'm pretty much George Soros combined with the Koch brothers and the Rothschilds in one person, but with swag. So step 2, institute Andrew Yang as he's not going to be the president, actually. He's going to be like a dictator, more or less. And what I'm interested in is not his any of his policies. I'm just going to use him as a figurehead. He seems like a pretty harmless guy. I'm going to use him as a figurehead and have him run with IBM an AI program that essentially
He's against AI.
No, so he is against AI, but that's what I'm saying. If I use him as the person that's instituting AI in a way that's going to control society, everybody's going to have faith in him because they're going to think like, oh, Andrew Yang, he's so much against society,
so
he's so much against AI. There's no way he would institute
he's
AI.
A red herring, if you will.
A red herring, a blue moon, whatever you want to call it. So that's step 2.
It's a beer, blue moon.
Blue moon, yeah, once in a blue. I actually like blue. I mean, I don't drink beer. That would be illegal. But Blue Moon's pretty good if I could drink it. What would you rank beers if just
Jenny
based
Light,
off of imagination? Based off imagination.
Jenny, light, cream ale, Kolsch, 12 horse.
How are you so ready with this? This is what you talk about with Bob.
Well, I drink a lot of. I hypothetically drink. Where? Hand me that. You know. I stay rapid. I'll admit, it's hard to like watch yourself.
The Jenny sweatshirt you have does earn you back some clout points in my new society in the new world.
What about the other T-shirt I have, which is the American flag made out of Jenny cans?
That is pretty epic. That will earn you some points. You would probably be. Let me see if I can relate this to the regionality of Rochester. I would say you would be in like a nice part of Penfield, bad part of, or like medium part of Webster. So like definitely middle class, But you're not.
You're not. You know, Pittsford.
You're not at the. You're not. It's not Pittsford. You're not in the slums of Pittsford, which is essentially the best part of downtown Rochester equivalent.
You're not in Greece.
Oh, Greece. Actually, step 0.5 is destroy Greece. Annihilate it. I would be fine with carpet nuking Greece, even if the radiation gets to us and we die in 20 years.
Quinn would be in Greece.
Yeah, so step 3, eliminate Quinn. Quinn does not deserve to exist on this planet for a multitude of reasons. 1, he's a racist. 2, he's really...
I'm gonna cut this part.
Okay.
I'm not gonna slander Quinn on
no, these are all jokes. I mean, these are all jokes.
But no one knows Quinn.
Exactly, so why do they care? Nobody knows Quinn.
That's true.
Or do you need a beverage?
Yeah.
Alright, continue with my plan. You know it.
Yeah. So step 4.
Step 3.
No, step 3 was
okay, yeah, okay.
Step 4, after Yang and IBM create AI using AI, but also using using Big Blue, the chess computer that beat the Russian Soviet world champion in chess. We will then fast forward through time and space.
Space and time.
And step 4 is establishing Halo. But also the AI within itself is the swarm. So we are force starting the Halo storyline.
Yeah, so that was going to be my step 5 is to fabricate an enemy alien force that comes to attack us, because eventually
we should code a video
people
game.
We can make an amazing video game. I have so many great ideas about world domination that have to do with video game. But anyway, so eventually people are going to start revolting because Andrew Yang is going to die. I'm not going to die. I'm going to have AI technology.
But not the swarm AI from Halo.
No. It's going to be like pure angel AI, like good AI, like that's helping me. It's actually making me younger. I'm going to start. It's like reverse Benjamin Button, but with AI.
What age would you like to permanently stay at?
I would never want to. Do you mean like in still have my lifespan, or like I'm gonna, like, am I gonna die?
No, like in this case where you're saying that like you're having AI keep you.
Oh, because I would be living forever.
Yes.
I don't know whatever age fits the best with wearing aviator sunglasses all the time, because I want to establish dominance and power.
I don't mean to get political, but like Joe Biden can really rock a pair of aviator sunglasses.
I actually hard disagree. I
pull
feel
it
like
up.
It looks
pull it up.
Like I'm gonna put. Well, I haven't seen him a ton in aviator sunglasses, but Joe Biden. This picture of him licking ice cream.
That's balling out of control. No. That's balling out. Look at that drip. Look at that. Like
I honestly cannot say that
he's rocking those aviators. You know damn well he's rocking those aviators.
Nobody that's wearing aviators, nobody that's properly wearing aviators, in the sense that the aviators aren't wearing them, they're wearing the aviators, ever sticks out their tongue to lick an ice cream cone.
How do they get the ice cream though?
That does not look manly.
How do you eat an ice cream cone then?
If you're wearing you don't.
Are you saying you're getting a bowl?
No.
Because like if you're getting a bowl, you're
eating what are they called? The mochi, like ice cream balls. If you're wearing aviators only.
No,
you can't be sticking out your tongue when you're wearing.
That's
aviators.
an alpha move.
It's not
sticking out your tongue.
You look like a beta if you got your tongue out.
That's asserting dominance on the people around you. It's like eating a banana in public. You're doing it because you're flexing. I know this makes you uncomfortable. I'm gonna eat this banana.
No, so maybe yes, but the way that he's eating this banana, and let me see if I can blow this up a little bit more.
Zoom in and enhance.
Save the image. Put it here. Yes.
Did you just flash the shrimp backwood?
Yes. But what I'm saying is, I guess maybe it all depends on the way that you're eating the ice cream and your physique while you're consuming the product.
So you're saying like his hand placement's off?
No, I'm saying his tongue placement is off. Look at this. His tongue.
No, he has perfect ice cream form there.
No. If you're eating ice cream, your tongue needs to be fully extent. Especially if you're trying to assert dominance. You want to say like, everybody looking at me, look at how long my tongue is. Look at how I can wrap my tongue completely around this ice cream cone and make it go back into my mouth. What he's doing is like, it's like he's trying to make a hot dog in his mouth. with his tongue.
I mean, I see what you mean there. I thought you meant tongue placement, and the stump of the cone is the perfect place to place a tongue when you're eating an ice cream.
Oh, yeah. If anybody is eating ice cream and they start from the top with their tongue,
they're a sociopath.
No, you're crazy. You're doing it wrong. You look like a buffoon. You're going to be all sticky and wet once you're done with that.
Yeah, like, because you don't want the cone to like start. You don't want it to start dripping.
No, and especially when you're there's a lot of technique when it comes to eating an ice cream. Within an ice cream cone,
because if you're, and it depends all on the weather of the day.
It depends on the weather. It also depends on the type of ice cream you have. I think that if you have, like, this is a respectable choice. I feel like I do respect Joe Biden for getting the waffle cone with the pure just vanilla. That is a fire choice. Yeah, that is always good. It's underrated. A lot of people go into ice cream shops and they see all these crazy the Superman flavor, moose goose, like I don't know, bear annihilation compilation. Like some weird, it's got like 15 different nuts in it. I appreciate just keeping it simple.
Yeah.
What I'm saying is the way that he's using his tongue isn't proper. If you want to actually eat ice cream the right way, you want to go around the rim. But you don't want to go around the rim and actually touch the rim. You want to go like slightly above the rim. Then you're gonna exactly. If you moisten up the rim, then it's gonna start falling off, and then some of the ice cream is gonna leak out through the cracks. You're not doing it right. I also respect.
There is a certain hustle. There is hot take here. There is a certain hustle in going in the double scoop direction on a cone.
Oh yeah, no, 100%. Like double or triple. I think if you go beyond triple,
that's too far. You're a masochist. Flying too close to the sun.
Exactly, but double I think is the move. That's like that because you're saying like my tongue is so strong, I can finish all of this before it's gonna make a mess, and it's a good litmus test to see like how much of an alpha you are. Because if you can't eat a double scoop waffle ice cream without making it drip, then you don't know what you're doing.
I like the word litmus test. You've been saying it a lot recently.
Have I?
Yeah.
When did I say it again?
I feel like I've been hearing. Maybe I've just been hearing litmus test more. Lit, Chris. This is lit, Chris.
That is a banger.
That's the second Paul Brothers reference.
I was just about to say we talked about them in. Was it the last podcast? It feels like it was so long ago. But I mean,
it was after the first presidential debate, the last podcast.
So should we recap the election's going on right now, but should we recap the second two debates?
I didn't really watch them.
Oh, we did talk about the second debate on that one podcast that isn't going to be released.
The one in the vault.
Yeah, that's going to be the vault. Once we set up a Patreon, we're going to release, we have a special episode that we, as a group, decided was not wise to release to the public. Not because, kind of because of what we were saying in the podcast, and just the nature of the conversation. But once we start this Patreon for $17 a month, you can access that episode and also other Vault episodes that we're going to have. I want to do a podcast with Mike at one point, and Mike was trying to say, like there's no way I can do a podcast. It's going to go off the rails, but we should do one, like a Vault episode with Mike.
Because it would Alex Jones of
he's like he's secretly the Alex Jones, but if you try and talk
he's like the Alex Sanders of the world.
He's the Alex Sanders of the world.
Bernie Jones.
Bernie Jones is a better way to put it. Bernie What are you gonna name your first child?
Bernie Jones.
I was thinking about that recently.
I do have some options. Like I've always liked the name Grayson.
I almost that's actually my cousin's. My cousin just had a kid named Grayson. Grandpa loves him.
How do you spell it?
Like
G-R-E?
No.
Oh, see, I'm an E guy.
Well, the name Grayson is never spelled with an E in the middle.
You gotta be different.
I kind of feel like dog names are more fun to play around with because like your dog doesn't have to go to school and get married and get a career at some point. So it's not like their name that they're going to be called by for the rest of their life only really impacts the people in your house. So I don't know. There's some cool dog names I've been thinking of, but some of them, it's hard to come down with one that it's like it sounds cool right now. And it's going to sound cool for like it's like a solid name for the future. Because if I pick a name right now that I think is cool, but it's just like me, like in the mindset of like a young like like 18 to 25-year-old. It's gonna sound retarded. It's gonna sound stupid in like I don't know, 10, 15 years. That's more of a concern for like having a kid, but I don't know. So what kind of dog names are you thinking of? Did you name Coda?
No, I want to name Coda Zeke.
Oh Lord, R.I.P. Zeke.
Let's see. Some dog names. Tank. I always like the name Tank, like for a bulldog.
Aren't you supposed to have like 2-syllable names for dogs?
I've never read that anywhere.
That's what when we got Raina, we got her from like a dog breeder, and that's what she said. I don't know if that's legitimate or not. It has something to do with because I think like the commands are single syllables, so it's like sit, stay, like roll, over. Well, that doesn't work, but I think you're supposed to do like 2-syllable names. I don't know.
2-syllable. Dido.
It's like at this point the conversation becomes, do I like what person do I name my dog after, or what is just like a badass name by itself? Izuku.
Midoriya.
So if you're gonna name your dog after an anime character, who would it be?
That's a daunting.
I feel like I would go with Spike. Spike is like a good dog name, anyways.
No, that's a basic answer. Like
no, Spike's a sick name.
It's like sure, but like when you can go with like Nagato, no.
No, but I don't want
like.
No, I feel like
Dogzo.
It's better to go with an anime character name that isn't immediately recognizable as like an anime.
What
character.
Is Kakashi's dog's name?
What, Paku?
Paku.
Paku's not a bad name. Or what's the name of the dog in Cowboy Bebop?
Kiba.
No, Kiba's not a bad name.
I was trying.
You need like a big like husky dog
Yeah.
for that. What's it called? No, Ein. That's the name of the corgi.
Oh, what's the name? It's Nina, and what's the dog's name?
Oh. Dude, I don't know. I just know she says
Edward. Ed, brother, do we play now? I wanted to just code up.
That reminds me of what I was gonna make a point about sticking your tongue out, and because we were talking about this is still just up, but I think if you just like have your tongue out normally, that's not like an alpha move, because when I worked in the R ward at the hospital, there were actually people that like they were just like constantly drooling or had their tongues out, and I feel like they never commanded the room, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, but like you got like characters like Venom and Carnage, they have long tongues.
That is true, but I feel like those are more
or like,
but it's more like a snake tongue, so that
Lickitung, the Pokemon.
I'm not scared of Lickitung. It just makes me think of like a rapist.
What?
Your tongue is just out, and you hang around like children that are 14 years old, and they're trying to capture you, but you're actually trying to capture them.
Not everyone's 14 years old in the.
Most
in
of
the
them are.
Pokemon
Most of
verse.
them are.
No, they're
most
not.
Of them are. Yes.
Most of them are adults.
Most of the
Ash
people
is in the minor. Like you can't tell me.
Yeah, when do you think these people catch their Pokemon? They're not catching them when they're like 50 years old. They're getting them when they're young kids. Yeah, like you grow into being a Pokemon trainer, so you're catching all these Pokemon when you're young.
Yeah, but is Lickitung the final evolution of? Is there a?
I think they've added in new generations. There's like one before, and then Lickitung used to be just.
Look
used
at
to
evolutionary tree of Lickitung.
I'll do that. Goodbye, Joe. This is still going. Oh, it's not still going. Here we'll do. All right. What am I looking up? The tree of Lickitung. I don't think it's spelled like this.
It's just auto.
I don't know how it's spelled, dude. With a U. The tree of life.
The Bulbapedia. No, I think that's the only. I think that's the only evolution of it.
Tell me this is not a rapist.
No, it's a baller.
No, it's not. Okay, let me frame it a different way. Most of the, at least in the show, the Pokemon that Lickitung is fighting are like small Pokemon.
What?
which are like children Pokemon. It's like their first or second evolution.
I don't think that stands.
I think it does. I don't think you understand the canon of Pokemon and Lickitung.
I canonically know all of them. I've been watching a bunch of Nuzlocke videos recently.
Name your Pokemon.
Ash. No, I've been watching a lot of Nuzlocke videos. There's a lot of nuance to Pokemon, though.
I used to watch Nuzlocke videos all the time when I was younger.
Like
and when I say younger, I mean like 14. So probably too old, but still.
Well, I'm 20 and I'm watching Nuzlocke videos.
I don't know.
See, they added copper to Minecraft.
Really?
In the
Finally.
new snapshot, yeah.
Finally. But like, what are they gonna have it do? Is it just gonna be like?
Right now, you can only build blocks with it, and they oxidize over time and become green.
That's so lame. What?
No, but think about it. It's gonna become valuable on like servers.
Why wouldn't gold just be valuable?
Because like you have to like wait in game time. Like each cycle is like there's like 250 like in game days for it to go through like the first 2 cycles, I think. Having fully oxidized copper is gonna be a
so that's the
move.
Flex. That's the flex. Is like my copper is rusted.
Yeah,
it looks terrible. That's the fun. I respect that.
Do you think the Statue of Liberty looks terrible?
Do you think that oxidized copper will be worth more than the Venezuelan currency?
Is it now?
It might be. I know a lot of in-game currencies are worth more than that, like RuneScape and World of Warcraft. Never really got into that game. Some people, people live
like
and die by
a pit trap.
It does. I keep going on that. I gotta get it.
So step 7, we reinstate music festivals after all COVID happens, and we've taken over, and COVID's no longer a thing.
Only nude. Only nude.
And the first concert is a hologram of Pusha T and Tyler the Creator.
Wait. Jake, we have a guest calling in. Yeah.
Griffin, hey,
Griffin,
you're on the podcast.
You're on the podcast right now.
You want me to pop on?
No, you're on it.
You're on it literally right now.
We're doing a podcast right now, and you're on it.
Wait, bro.
I'm not joshing.
No.
Holy shit! Is that Jake?
Anything you want to say to the world?
Don't say anything bad, please.
Can I curse?
Yeah.
Yes.
Jake, you're a little poo-poo brain.
Stop.
Okay, we can't have that on this program. I hope that the mic didn't pick that up.
We are the PBS of YouTube.
You little pee-pee poo-poo. Jake, your brain's tinkling. You little pee.
So, Griffin, who do you think is going to win the election?
Biden.
I hope he wasn't calling you for an important reason like last time.
Yeah, so for context, the last time that Griffin called me... Oh, dude, I don't even want to say this. Well...
You don't have to.
But basically, I won't give details, but Griffin called me to say that his grandmother had died and he was having like a rough time dealing with it. And he called me, and then I immediately asked him like a really stupid question and then hung up after he gave an answer. And he called back after, he was like, my grandmother just died. She was really close to me. I don't think you know. If you watched it, Griffin, if you're watching this, that's what happened. Well, I feel like you knew that. But anyways.
Rolly on my wrist.
Rolly on my bit. I love how like 21's like swerving around too.
No, they're definitely lively.
I loved having grills in my mouth. I'm not gonna lie. As little Zan.
Why? Like was it like an oral fixation type event? Type beat?
No, I just think because like I don't know, it just works because I feel like when you have like a not strongly defined jawline like I have, and then you have grills on top of that, they really like poke out and it looks extra ridiculous. I feel like that adds to the whole like face tat rapper vibe.
Do you think Kodak has a defined jaw? Oh. Goodbye,
my love. Alright, keep talking.
Oh, you didn't. All right, so step 8.
Say something.
I was gonna just sit in silence. Step 8.
No, let's start talking. Let's start talking about our friends and any dirt we have on them, just to make them angry. Because
because we're trying to get like outside our friend group and
well,
audience.
we are, but I think that if we talk about our friends in
deep
a
enough
hateful
into the
but
podcast
loving way, we're gonna like really get into it, and that's gonna be not only appealing to those people, but also it's gonna upset our friends, and that's gonna create more interaction in our community. So just pick someone. Pick someone.
I think like, are you trying to say we start beef? Like, can we get Belle Delphine on the show?
If we have to start beef, yeah. But in the comments, put somebody that's semi-realistic that you want on the show. That's a somewhat well-known figure.
I feel like we can definitely pay someone to get on the show.
See, you say pay, and I'm concerned already. I worked like, I don't know, maybe 10, maybe 15 hours a week. So I'm getting maybe $100 a week. And I have maybe like not even 15 or 1.5 in my bank account.
Million?
Yes. Well, so once I establish my clout society, I'm gonna be the richest person.
So
in the
like,
world.
why is?
So I guess it doesn't really matter at the end of the day. What would you say is like the best form of currency other than clout and money?
Bitcoin.
Bitcoin is money.
No.
Yes.
Bitcoin is spiritual.
What do you think about Bitcoin?
I honestly know like very few things about Bitcoin. Like, I know it involves a blockchain. I know that it's like you need a supercomputer. The more people who buy in, it mines more. It uses your computer.
So, are you saying that if you own, we could look this up. Are you saying that if you own Bitcoin, that it you inherently have to start mining Bitcoin by owning it, and then that works?
No, because I think there's a secondary market for it. I think the primary market though is mining.
How does Bitcoin?
This is gonna take far too long.
I just want the skinny.
There's no skinny when it comes to Bitcoin.
Watch. For beginners on Esquire. The financial world can't stop talking about Bitcoin. In
Okay,
recent
so no
weeks,
one's
the
gonna read an
headlines of
article.
Business Journal. Is Bitcoin infinite?
No.
Dude, you know the guy that that created Bitcoin?
It's just been missing for
Satoshi
years.
Nakamoto. Yeah, and then who was it? Nexpo did like a video, or not Nexpo, Barely Sociable, this YouTube channel. The dude did a video and he like did a ton of research trying to reveal who it was, and he named somebody, and that person tried to get his video taken down and tried to like defame him across social media.
No, I didn't know this.
It's some British dude. I don't remember his name. It was like Dean Murray or something like that. Some British like.
Is he gonna take down our YouTube channel now?
I hope not.
That'd be some controversy that we need. We need to.
Maybe we want that. I think should we start a controversy to get our YouTube channel taken down and then get that into the mainstream media so that we gain attention and start a different YouTube channel?
I mean, like, I don't know what controversy I want to get mixed up in.
Yeah, because at that point you need to pick a controversy that's like on the line or right below the line.
Yeah.
Because if you pick one that's probably not on the line, because I feel like anything on the line these days causes the line to get moved down a little bit, if you know what I mean. So like if
a
you
positive feedback loop.
Yeah. Sure. I don't have the brain power to think through that one right now.
What? Like a positive feedback loop. As people hit the line gets lowered each time. Like a positive feedback loop in science.
I guess that's how it works.
Wow, Jake confirmed more STEM than Noah.
It's a loose way to apply a positive feedback loop, I think, because
STEM boy.
That's like saying, because I think when you're talking about a positive feedback loop, it's like a constant process that's happening. Whereas like this is like when you hit the line, then it moves down, but you're not always hitting the line. Unless maybe we are always hitting the line. Maybe like, do you think that's how society is working right now? That people in society are always hitting the line, and that line always gets moved, or like probably a bar is a better way to put it. You keep like measuring at the bar, and then that keeps getting moved down and down and down, but everybody's doing that at the same time, so it's always getting lower. So is that just the natural progression of society to become more wholesome and inclusive, or do you think that's more politically driven?
I think it's a little bit of both. I think there's a point where it becomes less wholesome and more politically driven, if that makes sense.
In what way?
Like, there's a point, and I don't know if the bar is past that point, but I think there's a point where the bar becomes low enough where it's just being lowered for political reasons and no longer being lowered for actual societal help.
I think that's the problem, is like how do you discriminate between that? How do you know when it is the right time to lower the bar and when it's being lowered for like illegitimate reasons. And
See,
I think it's so hard.
I think that's the problem with the idea of us thinking in like our own time. I can't think in contemporary. Contemporary, is that the right word?
Yeah.
In contemporary,
or just modern. I mean,
yeah. With the bar, because I think the bar needs to be lowered retroactively, if that makes sense. I think trying to lower it as we go, we don't have the time to understand it.
I think
we don't fully understand our actions until years after they happen.
And I think that's not like a terrible way to look at it, but the flaw that to play devil's advocate, the flaw that could be pointed out is that if you're only lowering the bar retroactively, that means that you're purposefully allowing like bad things or like injustices to happen, and you're letting those happen because you need those to happen to know when it's time to lower the bar. Do you know what I mean?
I think there's some actual truth in that.
So what's the right way to lower the bar?
I mean, I think the right way to lower the bar is we can't brashly. I think
Yeah, sure, yeah.
Like lower the bar. We can't just go in and just be like immediately. Like we need to.
I agree.
We need to think on an issue before we lower the bar, and I think we've been pulling the trigger too much recently with ideas like that, instead of like pausing and like taking a second to understand like humans, like the more human side of it. Like people are arguing behind the idea that like it's making us more humane, but I think at the same time it's making us more robotic, and the idea that it's just becoming binary, what is good and what is bad, and there is no in between. Does that make sense? Like with like cancel culture and all that, like it's no longer like a human idea as far as like giving chances and understanding where people are coming from. Instead, it's bad thing, bad pile.
Yeah,
good thing, good
I think
pile.
so. I guess what we're both trying to say is that the best way to lower the bar, and like I guess like in case anybody doesn't know what we mean, like lower the bar in terms of like what is acceptable and what is not acceptable. The best way to do that is to have like a reasonable discussion that includes all perspectives. But so recently,
I don't think
listening
you can always keep everyone happy. I think there will be people's toes that will have to be stepped on.
Yeah. So I was recently listening to a podcast. Do you know the streamers like Destiny and Trainwreck? So just some big streamers on Twitch, and they just occasionally will run a political podcast where they'll include a few people from each side. So I was watching it, and it was a pretty terrible podcast because it just seemed like there were like two people on each side, and nobody was really willing to hear the other side's opinion. And I think that like made me think like one of the bigger problems we have in today's day and age is it's so easy to get locked into one perspective, and that's so dangerous because the only way you can come to a logical conclusion is if you're seeing from all different perspectives. And in the podcast, somebody would say something that's like left leaning, and then somebody would reply from like a right leaning perspective, but not take into consideration other aspects. It's like they're locked into their ideology. I think if you're willing to, and I don't know how many people really are willing to listen to both sides, but if you're willing to listen to both sides, and not necessarily both sides, but like every side, every perspective, then you can just use the logic to come to a reasonable conclusion. But everybody's so entrenched in their right-wing, left-wing ideologies that, like, I'm sure you know a ton of people that are like super left-wing or super conservative, and all they do is just watch like conservative or liberal media.
Yeah. Because
they don't want to hear anything from the other side, which I can kind of understand. Like if I'm like super right, I'm not gonna want to hear like Bernie Sanders or AOC talk about their policies and ideas because I'm gonna disagree with them immediately. But like, I was just listening to like I'm probably a little bit more right than left, but I was listening to Bernie Sanders on Joe Rogan earlier, and he makes a lot of like good points and reasonable points that it feels like people on the other side really aren't considering.
I think also there's something to play into the idea is that, wow, that was a run-on sentence and a half. I think something else to consider is there is a type of insanity that comes from trying to understand both sides that can drive someone mad. I feel like.
What do you mean?
Like if it's hard to both hear both sides and formulate an opinion. At least for me, at least, like I struggle because I hear one and then I'm immediately questioned by the other, and then I'm immediately questioned by the other, which I think is good, but I don't know if I'll ever have a concrete opinion, and not having a concrete opinion is kind of annoying.
That's kind of like what I'm saying is that I'll hear things that Bernie Sanders is saying, and I'll think, like him saying that, like the top 3 people had more wealth than the bottom 50%, or I don't know if that's the real statistic or not, but like hearing things like that, I'm like, that's ridiculous. But then if I ever bring that up to somebody that's right leaning, they'll say it's not ridiculous because of X, Y, and Z, and then I'll say like, okay, that's reasonable. But then when I say what I've learned from that conversation to somebody on the other side, then it's the same process over and over again. But and it feels like you're stuck in like a constant loop of just always being wrong. But I almost think that's the right way to go about it.
And I agree, and I don't want to formulate, like, it's not that I don't want to formulate an opinion, it's more that I don't want... Sometimes I don't want to come off as wrong. But
nobody wants to come off as wrong.
But in other times, it's just like, I don't want to catch myself too entrenched in a certain opinion where I'm not going to listen to someone else.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know where to draw the line on where I need, like... This is something that, like, I need to stand by, if that makes sense. Like, there's, like...
Yeah, and I mean, it is kind of a hot-button topic, but that's, like, my view on abortion. It's, like, if we knew that there was a certain point where, like, this is a different life, then I would say, okay, you shouldn't be able to abort that because that's a different thing. Nobody has any idea when there's, like, when that's a different life. Like, that's a hotly debated topic in science. So it's hard to have like a hard line opinion saying like from the moment of conception that is a life, or from the moment that's a heartbeat then that's a life. Like there's no easy way for me to say it. I think at at least for our understanding of science, you can't say like the moment of conception when it's like 1 or 2 cells, then you shouldn't be able to abort that. But
because we kill cells.
Because like a cell, like cells just die, like on our skin, cells just die.
Yeah.
But I don't know. It's hard to have like a straight opinion. I think if we knew, like, I don't think you should be able to kill another life because it's an inconvenience to you. But I also don't think you shouldn't be able to kill like a group of cells or like terminate a group of cells if that's an inconvenience to you.
Especially
like a major inconvenience to your life.
And even like it's not even just sometimes a major inconvenience to your life, but like I don't even know if it's but like the foster care system is just not great.
Yeah, and you're never gonna have a great foster care system. We're never gonna live in a utopia where
like we would love to have a world where
like
people care about, but we're not going to have that. Like that's a fever dream. That's something it's just unattainable. I feel like, and I don't know if that's ignorant to think it's unattainable because maybe we could, but I in our day and age I doubt we could.
No,
at least not within the next 200 years, in my opinion.
Who knows what's going to happen in the next 200 years?
Who knows what's going to happen next year?
Who knows what's going to happen in like a few days with the election? Like, why can't they just like flip a coin at this point?
No, I'm telling you, what we should have voted on was which version of Smash they play, and it's a best of 5.
So what would you want them to play? Which version of Smash would you pull for?
I'd vote for Ultimate. I think it's the fairest. But who
would Joe Biden main in Ultimate?
Oh, see, I wanted you to ask me that in Melee. In Ultimate, Trump's definitely like Trump's a heavy. Trump's like a K. Rool or like a Ganon, or like a Captain Falcon main.
I feel like both of them could fit the Captain Falcon main because like Joe Biden with his aviators on kind of looks like Captain Falcon, but Trump with like his personality kind of makes me think of Captain Falcon. Maybe it's Captain Falcon Ditto. I mean, do they? I feel
like Biden does like a real brainless character. Like,
it's Biden Steve. Does he play Steve?
No, Steve's big brain.
No, not online. No.
No, but like at top played Steve, like the Buzz Steve, big brain.
Yeah, sure.
So like I'm thinking that Biden's Pikachu.
Pikachu's a big brain character.
All right, fine.
You're saying like a character with easy combos. in an easy kill setup. Maybe Falco. I feel like he doesn't fit Falco.
No, he doesn't fit Falco.
I don't know. Who would Kamala Harris be? Is that an easier one? Is it Kamala or Kamala? I don't care. Never mind. Oh yeah, put Griffin on.
Hey Griff, you're on the podcast.
Don't forget to do your discussion post. I didn't see if you posted one or not.
I'm about to. You just have to post a question from the movie.
You literally have to give a 1 sentence question.
A what?
A 1 sentence. A 1
You're
sentence
gonna
question.
include this in the podcast.
Yes.
It's very brief.
Yes, I know. I already finished the paper too.
All right, can you ask Noah to read what I sent him, please?
Yes, I will.
Do you want us to read this on air on the podcast out loud?
I don't. I really don't
Why?
want you to do that.
It can give you publicity.
You know we have access to millions
I
of
don't
people
want that
on YouTube.
happening.
All right, I love you.
All right, love you too. Babe, bye, baby.
Do you and Griffin have more heartfelt conversations than you and Kaylee?
No.
When is Kaylee coming on the podcast? I
Kaylee
would
wants
love to
get
have Kaylee on the podcast.
She definitely does.
She's a good mind to have on the podcast.
Inkling. No, Villager, by the way. For Kamala.
I feel like Villager fits better with Joe Biden.
No.
Because no, think about it. Joe Biden isn't like an inherently aggressive person. Like he's like I think
I don't know why, but Mega Man popped into my head just now.
No, Joe Biden doesn't have the mental capacity to handle Mega Man. He's not on the level of Le'Veon Bell. Let's be honest. No, Villager is good because Joe Biden he's not very like aggressive. I mean, there are some moments when he's aggressive, but it's like he seems like the kind of person that's just like slingshotting political comments towards the other party. He's like taking not like a super
All right, this is gonna be
like
a
Trump approach.
out of left field pick, but Biden's gonna play Joker. Now, hear me out. Because he doesn't get angry.
Is Kamala Harris Arsene? Or is that Hillary Clinton?
Arsene. No.
Clinton.
No. Kamala's Arsene, and Hillary's the cat.
What's the most demon-like character in Smash? Is Hillary Ganon?
Ganon?
Yeah, Hillary's Ganon.
Political talk over Smash.
This is how people of our generation are going to talk about politics. It's just relating it to pop culture and video games. No actual substance.
There is substance here. There's nuance.
There was the conversation we had earlier was substantive.
No, there's nuance in picking a certain Smash character for a certain political figure.
So who would RBG? Who would RBG be?
ZSS.
No, I was thinking of like an old woman character, but I don't think that's in Smash.
No, you need like a strong woman character.
Maybe she'd
for
be like
RBG.
Baba Yaga in Smite.
No, you need a strong woman character. Zero Suit Samus.
No, I feel like Inkling is a stronger female character.
What?
Just better.
No, but like
Better has more like sass. You know what I mean?
Then Zero Suit? No, you're just wrong.
No, she's emotionless most of the time. Inkling is like always laughing at you or something. Like there's personality to Inkling, but there's really not for Zero Suit Samus.
Now the real question is,
Yes.
who in the 2016 who mains who in the 2016 XXL Cypher? This will be the end of the
Yachty's
episode.
DDD. 100%.
Oh yeah, that is a very factual statement. I feel like Codex Piranha.
Yeah. Who's 21 Savage?
Denzel's like someone who has like finesse. Like Denzel's like some insane combo character that like Mario.
I could see Denzel as Mario.
Like a Mario main. Just like finessing something in the lab that like is just unheard of.
Lil Uzi has got to be Captain Falcon.
What?
Lil Uzi's definitely Captain Falcon.
No.
He's going. Lil Uzi is a flashy guy, and Falcon players always go for flashy plays. And like Falcon, big personality. Uzi, big personality.
21 needs to be like someone low key. 21 needs to be like.
I don't know. He's a tough one.
Man, I don't like.
Oh, RBG is Palutena, by the way.
That was my second pick. So like
Yeah.
Palu, yeah. He's just
He's a tough one to nail down, honestly. All right, 5 seconds. Come up with one. We'll say it at the same time. 5,
4, 3, 2, 1.
Bowser.
Simon.
No, Bowser. Because like Bowser's like a heavy hitter. Like he's kind of like low key, like in game. But
He's
like,
not
if you
low.
mess with him, you're kind of dead.
All right, that's the episode. Thank you for watching. That's episode 2, season 7 of the Joe Rogan Experience.
Episode 2, season 7. Yeah. Episode 2, season 7. Please subscribe. Please like the video.
Yeah.
Please do something meaningful towards our existence on this virtual platform.
Yeah,
if you're not doing anything,
we need encouragement. Like I need people.
We need encouragement. We need money, power.
Look at these new lights. We look good.
Look at this new monitor setup. Look at us switching seats.
Yeah, like this is the new wave. Join us. Surf it. Subscribe. Do it. Hit that bell.
All right.
Oh, I thought you stopped recording.
No. Do you have any final words?